Hey, everybody, welcome to Touring History X, Y, and Z. I'm Lane.
And I'm Touring Dave. Before we dive into today's July 4th extravaganza, woohoo! Let's give a shout out to our friends at Stew Leonard's. You know what I love about Stew's,
What,
Lane?
Dave? What do you
They
love about?
literally carved their customer service philosophy into each other. No, into a 3-ton granite rock. Rule number 1, the customer is always right. Rule number 2, ha, if you have to ask, it's if the customer is ever wrong, reread rule number 1. Ha, yeah, that's commitment to a bit, people.
Absolutely. Speaking of commitment, Dave and I are committed to bringing you three historical events from the same date that specifically resonate with Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Z. Today, we're doing July 4th, and yes, we know everyone does July 4th content, but we're doing it differently.
That's right. So be prepared and buckle up because we're looking at how the same date hits different generations in completely different ways. It's like, well, imagine July 4th as a song. I know you've heard it all
I'm
before.
imagining, go ahead, Dave.
Okay. But Gen X hears it in grunge. Millennials
Oh.
hear it as emo. And Gen Z hears it as whatever that thing is where they make songs out of random internet sounds.
Wow. That's actually not a terrible analogy.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's start with birthdays because July 4th has some wild ones.
They certainly do, starting with that wild president, Calvin Coolidge, otherwise known as Silent Cal because he really never said anything. Born 1872, our most famously quiet president, the man who made Silent Cal a thing.
I didn't know presidents could be quiet.
Yeah, right. Well,
Moving
he
on to
was the
Post Malone. Post Malone was born 1995, our most famously tattooed rapper who somehow makes country music work.
That's right, named after a telephone pole as his mother was giving birth. Malia Obama, born 1998, who grew up in the literal White House during the social media age, which honestly sounds like a specific type of nightmare. I wouldn't want to be there for that.
Yeah, no. Stephen Foster, born 1826, basically invented American popular music. He wrote Oh Susanna and died broke, which also feels very American.
Yeah, I'm feeling very American. Anyway, Rube Goldberg, yeah, he's one of the first guys who was a noun and an adjective.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
yes. Yes.
Born 1883, the guy who made unnecessarily complicated machines into an art form. He was originally an ad guy, and if he were alive today, he'd have the most satisfying TikTok account ever.
Oh, absolutely. We all love those domino, videos and
Oh,
complicated machines. And
that's right. Bags of
I,
paint that flop and move another thing. They're great.
yeah, music videos that all are in one take with a ridiculous number of things to, basically open a letter or something. So very cool stuff.
It
Well, you know
is.
what gets me about that birthday list, Dave?
What?
It's like America in a nutshell. Political silence, musical chaos, public scrutiny, artistic struggle, and overcomplicated solutions to simple problems.
Well,
Just
that's
like
weird.
me.
Yeah, it's weirdly profound, right? Speaking of weirdly profound, let's talk about our first event, shall we? July
Go
4th.
ahead, Dave. What are you
Well,
going to
it's
lead
the
off with?
1976 bicentennial celebration. America turned
Yay!
200. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, folks. And the country throws itself the biggest birthday party in human history. Well, according to us, we're talking tall ships, short ships, any kind of ship sailing into New York Harbor, massive fireworks displayed, and enough red, white, and blue polyester to clothe a small nation that turns out is very itchy.
Yeah. And I'm going to call this one peak Gen X childhood. If you were born between 1965 and 1980, you were probably somewhere between toddler and middle schooler, just absorbing this massive display of American optimism.
Well, I'm still between toddler and middle schooler, so I can totally relate. And here's why this specifically hits Gen X. This was the last time America felt genuinely, uncomplicatedly proud of itself. Huh. I know those are big words, folks. We're talking about post Vietnam, post Watergate, Pre Iran hostage crisis, pre Reagan's Morning in America irony.
Yeah, it was this brief moment where the country was like, you know what? We've been through some stuff, but we made it 200 years. Let's party. And Gen X kids absorbed that energy and the idea that America could acknowledge its problems and still celebrate.
Exactly. And what shaped Gen X's whole relationship with patriotism, it's not blind flag waving and it's not cynical rejection. It's this complicated, America's deeply flawed, but also genuinely remarkable perspective. It's what I tell my wife all the time about myself. I'm flawed, but I'm remarkable.
That's right. And you see it in Gen X culture everywhere. Movies like Born on the 4th of July or music like Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. It's patriotism, but it comes kind of with a question mark, which feels very 1976 bicentennial.
That's right. Born. Everything was born. Plus, the bicentennial was the last major American celebration that wasn't immediately turned into content, right? No social media, no hot takes, just people showing up to watch tall ships and eat funnel cake. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we even had a military parade, did we?
No, the tanks were all too hot.
Uh, well, Gen X remembers when national unity wasn't performative, which is probably why they're so skeptical of both mindless patriotism and performative outrage. They lived through genuine celebration.
I know performative outrage. I love that group. They're wonderful.
It's a good band name.
It is. Almost as good as Deer Tick. All right, so event number 2, Space Shuttle Atlantis docks with Mir Space Station. That's right.
Ooh.
July 4th, 1995. They timed it perfectly. Space Shuttle Atlantis docks with the Russian Mir Space Station. And suddenly, America's Independence Day becomes about international cooperation in space. That's not going to happen these days.
You're not going to just leave it there, Dave. I know you have theories about space programs.
Well, I have theories about everything, but space programs especially, Lane. And I absolutely have a theory about this. Why does this scream millennial? Because this happened when millennials were kids, right at the moment when the internet was starting to make the world feel connected.
Yeah, that's actually brilliant. Millennials grew up with this idea that America's greatest achievements came through collaboration, not isolation. The space shuttle program was all about working with other countries in space for a greater good.
Hey, you want to be our friend? Launch a rocket and meet us up there, dude. Compared to that moon landing thing, which was basically America saying, we're better than you. Soviets, go launch another monkey. The Shuttle Mir program, Albert, was America saying, we're better when we work together.
And that shaped millennial patriotism completely. For millennials, American exceptionalism isn't about being better than everyone else, it's about America being the country that brings everyone together.
But we're still better. Which is why millennials get so frustrated with America First rhetoric. Their formative patriotic moment was literally about American leadership through international cooperation, not just about, it's all about me.
Yeah. Plus, this happened during the internet boom. Millennials were the first generation to grow up thinking of problems as globally connected. Climate change, economic inequality, pandemics, these aren't American problems, they're human problems that require cooperation.
That's right. And made by humans. So we better work together to solve this or we're all screwed. And
Yeah.
here's what's the really wild part. The Shuttle Mir program was happening because the Cold War had ended. Millennials never lived through existential American fear of foreign powers. They lived through American partnerships with former enemies.
That's why build walls doesn't resonate with millennials, but build bridges does.
That's right.
Their childhood 4th of July was literally about building bridges to space.
Oh, that would be some bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's bridge to the next topic, shall we? The discovery of the Higgs boson. Announced in
Boson.
2012. Yeah, July 4th, 2012, scientists at CERN announced they've discovered the Higgs boson, the God particle. And suddenly, Independence Day becomes about discovering the fundamental nature of reality.
You ever seen pictures of that thing? It's like the biggest super collider. I mean, it takes up a whole mountain or something. It's
It
ginormous.
is big, and it might accidentally create a black hole for all of us to fold into. But don't
Well,
worry
I've
about
got a black hole I can create. I don't need no giant super collider for that, dude.
that.
That's right. Gen Z was just coming of age when this happened. If you were born between 1997 and, say, 2012, you were between elementary school and high school, and your July 4th news wasn't about American politics. It's about physics, darn it.
Yeah, and you know what gets me about this? Gen Z's
What?
formative 4th of July was about human knowledge, not national identity. While everyone else was talking about America, Gen Z
America.
was absorbing the idea that the most important discoveries happen when the whole world works together.
Can't we all just get along? CERN isn't American, it's international. The Higgs discovery involved scientists from dozens of countries, and Gen Z watched it happen in real time on social media.
That's such a Gen Z experience, learning about the fundamental structure of the universe through Twitter while their parents were posting flag memes.
Flag memes. I got a few of those somewhere. And here's why this matters for Gen Z patriotism. They don't see America as exceptional because of military power or economic dominance. They see human knowledge and scientific discovery as its highest achievements. And now
Yeah,
we're
for
just shutting down colleges for all of that. It's just gone the opposite direction completely.
Yeah. For Gen Z, American exceptionalism would be about America leading the world in scientific research, renewable energy, space exploration, not because we're better, but because these are the things that actually matter for humanity's future.
That's right. Do you think the A bomb was made by one person? No, it was a collaborative effort by us. Plus, the Higgs discovery happened through massive international collaboration and was immediately shared freely with the world. Gen Z grew up thinking, that's how important discoveries should work. Open source, collaborative, global, like the polio vaccine. They didn't just keep it for us, they spread it across the world. Not the actual, virus, but the vaccine.
Yeah, yeah. And this all happened when Gen Z was developing their worldview about what problems matter. While older generations were focused on political and economic competition, Gen Z was watching scientists solve fundamental questions about reality itself.
That's right. Send it down to the boys in the lab and see what they can come up with.
That's right.
Which is probably why Gen Z gets frustrated with political theater. They came of age watching actual scientists discover actual truth through actual cooperation. Actually, everything else feels like performance art.
Yeah. And speaking of performance art, why don't we do some for our friends at Stew Leonard's?
Well, that's a good segue, Lane. The Disneyland
Thanks,
and
man.
Dairy stores, which sounds fake, but it's absolutely true.
What I love about Stews is they only carry 2,200 items versus the 40,000 items in regular grocery stores. They focus on fresh, quality, and making shopping actually fun.
Oh, and fun it is, Lane. They have animatronic singing vegetables, employees dressed as cows. And it's utterly ridiculous, I know. If you spend $100, you get free ice cream. It's like grocery shopping in a fever dream. Fever dream. But in the best possible way.
I saw what you did there. You tried slipping in utterly ridiculous phrase. I get
I
it. Utterly.
can't fool you.
Plus, they're family owned since 1969, and they've been on Fortune's 100 best companies to work for 10 years running. And they have that 3-ton granite rock with their customer service philosophy carved in it and in front of every store.
That's right. And they also make their employees tattoo it on their backs. No, I'm kidding. Check them out at stewleonards.com, where shopping meets entertainment meets really good pistachio soft serve ice cream. Yum.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So here's what's fascinating about today's events, folks. July 4th hits every generation differently because American identity itself keeps evolving.
That's right. Gen X had the bicentennial, America celebrating itself after surviving its own mistakes. Gen Y had Shuttle Mir, America leading through cooperation. Gen Z had Higgs, humanity discovering truth together before they get sucked into a black hole.
It's like watching patriotism evolve in real time. From we survived and we're celebrating to we're great when we work together to the most important things transcend national borders entirely.
Deep. Love it. And maybe that's the most American thing of all, darn it, that every generation gets to redefine what American ideals actually mean. Who's up next?
Yeah, whether it's independence, cooperation, or discovery, July 4th keeps meaning something different to everyone. And honestly, that feels about right.
I think so. That's it for today, Touring History X, Y, and Z. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And here's something cool, ladies and gentlemen. Send us a voice memo about your favorite historical date, whether it's your birthday, graduation, or any day that matters to you. Record yourself telling us about it, and we'll use it.
Yeah, if we use your voice memo in our animated version of the podcast, you'll get to see your voice brought to life by Says So, our animatronic robot answering machine, which is either the coolest thing you'll ever see or mildly terrifying.
And we'll send you a free Touring History XYZ t shirt.
Oh,
Probably both.
absolutely. We just printed those up. Good
Yep.
merch.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a whole bunch. Thanks to Stew Leonard's for sponsoring today's episode. And we'll see you next time when we tour more history that hits different for different generations until we find a new generation.
Yeah, because history isn't just what happened, it's how what happened shaped who we are.
Ooh, deep again.
Ah,
And we're all
thanks,
shaped
man. Hey, I'm
differently.
trying.
I'm shaped like a Vicks cough drop, upside down, of course.
Well, let's all Wonder Twin Powers activate form of whatever tomorrow, everybody.
Shape of weirdo.
Have a great 4th of July weekend, but we'll be back tomorrow with July 5th. So we'll see you then.
All right, take care, Crime Stoppers.